Hello and welcome to this lesson on working with percentage change. If you want to pop today's date in the title and then have a go at the do now questions relating to work we've done in the previous two lessons. Resume playing the video when you want to go through the answers. So question 1, express as a percentage 36 marks in a test worth 60. So into your calculator you can type using the fraction key 36 over 60. Press the S to D key or equals, or you can just simply multiply by 100 to get as a percentage, and hopefully you got out that this was 60%. Question 2, write £2.50 as a percentage of £12. Because the units are the same, you can type in 2.5 or 2.50, remember these are the same thing. And 12 is the bottom as your denominator. Remember, if you haven't got a fraction key, you can type in £2.50 divided by 12 and press the equals key. If you then multiply this by 100, you will get an answer of 20.8333, so 20.83 recurring. But for these questions, let's round to the nearest integer. So this would be 21. If you've rounded to one decimal place, that's fine. That would be 20.8. Or indeed, if you've written down the answer accurately, the question didn't specify, so 20.83 with a dot above the 3 is perfectly acceptable too. Question 3, express 40 centimetres as a fraction and a percentage of 3.5 metres. Now, as the units are different, we need them the same, so let's change to the smaller unit of centimetres. So this would be 40 out of 3.5 metres, well there are 100 centimetres in a metre, so if we do 3.5 multiplied by 100 we would get 350, and cancelling this down we would get 4 over 35. Now if you type in a fraction in your calculator, 40 over the 350, using your fraction key and press equals, your calculator will simplify this fraction for you. To write this as a percentage, then multiply it by 100. You might have to press your S to D key, and this comes out to the nearest integer is 11%. You may have got 11.4 or 11.42. This is perfectly correct. No, sorry, it'd be 11.43 if you'd rounded. Question 4, express as a fraction 15 minutes out of 2.5 hours. Again, you would need to get the units the same, so go for the smaller unit of minutes. This would be 15, 2.5 hours. Well, we know that 1 hour is 60 minutes, so 2 hours would be 120 minutes. Half an hour is 30, so this gives 120 plus 30 gives us 150 minutes. Now you can cancel this down to 1/10 by dividing by 15. Again, your calculator would do it for you. Question 5, write 40 pence out of £8 as a percentage. Again, you need the same unit. So you would need to type in your calculator in your fraction key 40 over 800, because there's 800 pence in £8. This cancels to 1/20th. Multiply it by 100. To get an answer of 5%. Question 6, express 70 grams as a percentage of 950 grams. Well, these units are the same, so this one was slightly more straightforward. So 70 out of 950, multiply it by 100, and this comes out to the nearest integer as 7%. If you did one decimal place, it would have been 7.4, and 2 would have been 7.37. Our hook question today. So why are we learning about questions that work with percentage change? Well, percentage change helps us to work out what is called either a profit or a loss. So let's have a look at this question here, which we will answer at the end of the lesson. So a restaurant buys 3 cases of drinks for £30. So the initial outlay, the initial money that they spend is £30. There are 12 bottles in each case and they sell all the bottles for £3 each. Do they make a profit or do they make a loss? So profit is where they make more money, a loss is where they would lose money. And what is this as a percentage of the original amount they spent? So shops like to work out whether they go what percentage amount they make as a profit or a loss. And we will look at this question to answer it at the end. So our success criteria for today, our bronze objective is to be able to express one number as a percentage of another. Well, we've been doing that in the previous 2 lessons. Our silver objective, be able to find a simple percentage change. We've also been doing that. So we're going to look at using this technique in our gold questions of being able to solve problems in the context of profit and loss. So what I'd like you to do now is copy down the next 2 sentences in your exercise book and then say them out loud. So to calculate a percentage change, firstly find the difference between the 2 amounts, then express this as a percentage of the original amount. Can you say this back to me, please? Now can you pause the video and copy it down into your exercise book? Once you've done that, let's have a go at a question. Calculate the percentage change from 20 to 30. So firstly then, we work out the difference between the 2 amounts, and the difference between 20 and 30, 30 subtract 20 is 10. Always take the larger number and subtract the smaller number. It doesn't matter which way round these numbers are. So 30 subtract 20, the difference is 10. Then we're going to express this as a percentage of the original. So the original was 20. So I'm going to write this. So 10 out of 20. That would give me the fraction. To get it as a percentage, I've multiplied by 100. So it's a 50% percentage increase from 20 to 30. If the numbers had been the other way round, from 30 to 20, it would have been a 50% decrease. So we could have also done this in our head. So the original value is 20, and this is 100% of our amount. Now 30 is this 100%, but with a further 10 added on. Now, as a fraction of the original 20, 10 out of the 20 is 50% of this amount. So this is where we could have seen, well, the increase is 10. 10 out of 20 I know is 50% of the 20, so the change is 50%. But working it out with this working will always give you a correct answer, whether the numbers are easier to do in your head or whether you really need to be using a calculator to work it out. Using this working then, can you please now have a go at this question? Pause the video while you have a go. So to calculate the percentage change from 40 to 50, again, we work out the difference between the 2 amounts. So 50 subtract 40 gives us 10. We then work out this 10 as a fraction and a percentage of the original 40. So to do this, this is 10 out of 40, which is a quarter, times it by 100, so we know this is a 25% increase, or a 25% profit. You might have been able to have done this and seen this in your head. So 40 is the 100% to start with. We've increased to get to 50 by 10. And then we look at this 10 as a fraction of the original 40. 10 out of 40 is this 25% increase. Let's have a look at another question. Now this one is a percentage decrease, but we work it out in exactly the same way. So calculate the percentage change from 60 to 45. So just as before, we work out the difference. The larger number is first. It doesn't matter which way round the numbers are. The only difference is from going from a larger number to a smaller number, we know that this would be a loss. This would be a percentage decrease. So 60 subtract 45 gives us 15. We're going to write this as a fraction of the original amount. So 15 over 60. Multiply this by 100. Use your calculator to do this, and this will give us a percentage decrease this time of 25%. Let's look at another one. Calculate the percentage change from 12 to 5. So we're going to work out the difference between the two amounts. So 12 subtract 5 would give us 7. Work this out as a fraction of the original amount, which was 12. So 7/12 multiplied by 100 gives us in your calculator rounded to one decimal place 58.3%. Check this out, make sure you're happy with this in your calculator. You wouldn't have been able to have done this in your head. This is why you need to understand the method. Now can you pause the video while you have a go at this question? Calculate the percentage change from 100 to 40. Use it by writing down the working in your exercise book, but also you may be able to check and see where they've got this by using the numbers in your head mentally. So to start with, we would work out the difference between 100 and 40. So 100 subtract 40 gives me a difference of 60. I then write this as a percentage of the original amount. So as a fraction to start with, this would be 60 over 100. Multiply it by 100 to work out it's a 60% decrease. It's a decrease because we're going from a larger number, 100, to a smaller number of 40. To have done this in our head, so we would have seen that it was a 60 amount difference, and then 60 out of the 100 we would know is 60% straight away. Calculate the percentage change now from 18 to 11. Again, pause the video while you have a go. So to do this question, we would do 18 subtract 11 to give us 7. Then we would do 7 over 18, 7/18, multiply it by 100, and hopefully you got 38.9% to one decimal place. So just to recap again, to calculate a percentage change, we find the difference between the amounts, we divide this difference by the original amount and multiply by 100. Please make sure you've copied this down in your exercise book from the previous 2 slides. There was the working for the last question. Some purposeful practice then now. Some standard examples of questions we've just looked at. So find the difference between the amounts, write them as a fraction of the original amount, multiply by 100 in your calculator to get your answer. Pause the video while you have a go. So calculate the percentage change from 20 to 34. Hopefully you got 70%. Calculate the percentage change from 16 to 9. So you did 16, take away 9 to give you 7. Wrote this as 7 over 16 in your calculator. Multiplied it by 100. You'd have got 43.75 or 43.8 to one decimal place. Calculate the percentage change from 40 to 42. So this would be 2 over 40. Multiplied by 100 gives you 5%. Calculate the percentage change from 60 to 20. So 60 subtract 20 is 40. 40 over 60 multiplied by 100. Well, this is 2/3, which is 66.6 recurring, or to one decimal place, 66.7. A non-standard example, calculate the percentage change from 20 to 100. Do it in exactly the same way. So you'll have a difference of 80. 80 over 20, so this is why it's non-standard, because the numerator is top heavy. So 80 over 20 we know is 4. Multiply this by 100, this would be 400%. As a challenge, why is the last question different to the rest? And can we have a percentage decrease that is greater than 100%? Well, the last question is different to the rest because our numerator ended up as a top heavy number, as a number bigger than the denominator. So we ended up with a percentage greater than 100. And this is correct, isn't it? It's more than doubled. Can we have a percentage decrease that is greater than 100%? Well, no, we can't. Otherwise, we'd be going into negative values. And this is especially true if we were looking at money. A cold call question now. pause the video and have a think or work out this question in your exercise book before I give you the answer. So when new, Danny's phone battery would last 36 hours between charges. So here, got a bar model to represent, so I've got the 36 hours here. Now it only lasts for 30 hours. Calculate the percentage decrease in battery life. So this just represents that we need to do the subtraction, we need to work out the difference between the 36 and the 30, so this would give us 6. So here we would have 6 hours, and then we work that out as a fraction of the original. So 6 over 36 is 1/6, which is equivalent to 16.6 recurring percent, or to one decimal place 16.7. Question 2. Pause the video while you have a go at this question. So Jack buys a house for £120,000. He sells the house 1 year later for £135,000. What is the percentage profit that Jack has made? So again, we've got a bar model, we've got £120,000, so here is the 100% of the amount, and this time we know that it's increased. Again, if we work out the difference, so 135,000 take off the 120,000 would give us that we've got an increase here of 15,000, and then we're working it out as a percentage of the original. So it will be 15,000 divided by 120,000, which is equivalent to 1/8, multiply it by 100, we know is 12.5%. Pause the video while you have a go at this question. Amir sells his mobile phone for £240. He paid £480 for the mobile phone when it was new. Has he made a profit or loss? And what percentage profit or loss has he made? So if he paid £480 originally and he sold it for less, he will have made a loss. So to work out the percentage profit or loss, remember it's exactly the same working as we were doing before. So we work out the difference between the two amounts, 480 subtract 240 gives us 240, and work this out as a fraction of the original amount, which was the £480. Read the question very carefully. So this 240 out of 480, you may have recognised without having to use your calculator that 240 is indeed half of 480, so when you multiply this by 100 it gives us a 50% loss. So the percentage loss he's made is 50%. Now you'll be able to do the worksheet from this lesson, but you might want to have a look at the true-false questions first. So the answer to a percentage change is the difference between the values. This is false. Remember, we have to go a bit further than this. So we divide the difference by the original amount. Yes, this is true. So to remember to work out a percentage change, we work out the difference between the amounts, and then we divide this by the difference. Sorry, we divide this difference by the original amount to get the percentage change. So we always need to use a calculator to find a percentage change. No. Sometimes, as we've seen in a few of the examples, we can use our head because they are easy percentages to work out. A percentage increase can be used to calculate a profit. Yes, that's true. An increase means that you have made money. A percentage decrease can be used to calculate a profit. Well, no, this will be false because this works out a loss. We can calculate a percentage increase that is greater than 100%. Yes, this is true. We looked at a non-standard example of this. We can calculate a percentage decrease that is greater than 100%. False. Remember, we can't go below 0 when we're decreasing, or we'd go into negative values. Is this correct? So this is the hook question from the beginning of the lesson. Pause the video, have a look through my working and decide whether it's correct or not. So a restaurant buys 3 cases of drinks for £30. So this is how much they spend to start with. There are 12 bottles in each case. So 12 lots of 3 would mean there were, hopefully you spotted, I've done an error with my multiplication, and this should have been 36 bottles. So if they sell all the bottles for £3 each, this is a correct calculation, but I should have had 36 here. So we should have had 36 multiplied by 3. So they in fact make £108. Do they make a profit or loss? Well, hopefully you've seen that this is incorrect, because they laid out, they used £30 to start with and have made back 108. So this is in fact a profit. What is this as a percentage of the original amount they spent? Hopefully you noticed I've done the subtraction wrong here, because I should have done the bigger number first, but also we should have used 108 subtract the 30 to give us 78, and then work this out as a fraction of the original amount. So we should have done 78 over 108, so really the percentage was 72.2% profit. Where would we use this? So businesses use percentage change to look at what is happening with sales. This is a question where it might be used as an example. So the number of customers that a food truck receives for lunch drops from 25 to 18 over 2 days. What is the percentage loss for the customers, or the percentage loss in customers, sorry. So this is how a business could use percentage loss and a percentage change. And they may also do this for a week or longer to see any trends in their sales figures, and then maybe graph the results to see.